The studio lights flicker like a warning siren. The internet is shaking. Hollywood is holding its breath. And somewhere behind the curtain of billion-dollar deals and carefully polished red carpets, a secret is detonating that could rip the entire celebrity machine apart. Because just hours ago, a clip began circulating that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Katt Williams. Yes, that Katt Williams. The comedian, who already scorched half of Hollywood with one of the most explosive interviews in internet history, has just dropped another bombshell. And this time the name at the center of the firestorm is none other than Teyana Taylor. At first it sounded like another rumor. Another viral clip. Another social media conspiracy that would burn out in a few hours. But then people started listening more closely. And what they heard made the industry panic. Because Katt didn't just mention Teyana Taylor. He claimed something far more dangerous. He claimed she's being blacklisted. Not quietly pushed aside. Not slowly fading out. Blacklisted. And according to Katt, it isn't because of a bad album, a failed movie, or industry politics. It's because of what she knows. The moment the clip surfaced, Twitter exploded. Fans replayed the segment frame by frame. Blog pages started publishing frantic headlines. Entertainment insiders began whispering. And suddenly the same question echoed everywhere. What exactly did Teyana Taylor see? Because Katt Williams didn't stop at accusations. He hinted at something darker. He talked about rooms people weren't supposed to remember. He talked about contracts that control more than careers. And then he said the one sentence that made Hollywood insiders go ice cold. They ain't scared of her talent, they scared of her memory. Within minutes, TikTok detectives began digging. Old interviews resurfaced. Strange industry moments suddenly looked different. Clips of Teyana looking uncomfortable in certain press junkets started trending again. And fans noticed something disturbing. Teyana Taylor, one of the most multi-talented artists of the last decade, had been strangely quiet in major Hollywood circles lately. No big studio announcements. No major award campaign pushes. No high-profile industry backing. Just silence. The kind of silence that makes conspiracy theories grow teeth. But then something even stranger happened. An alleged insider leak hit Reddit. A screenshot. A private message. Supposedly from someone who worked on a major studio project tied to Teyana. The message read, "They told us not to work with her anymore. Not officially. Just, quietly." The screenshot spread like wildfire. Some called it fake. Others said it matched rumors circulating in talent agencies for months. But the timing was terrifying. Because it came just hours after Katt Williams dropped his comments. And that's when people started asking a question that Hollywood absolutely does not want answered. Did Katt just expose something the industry was desperately trying to bury? Or worse, did he trigger something that was already in motion? Because sources are now claiming that behind closed doors, powerful executives have been scrambling ever since Katt's words went viral. Phone calls, emergency meetings, PR teams in damage control mode. And insiders say one phrase keeps coming up in those conversations. Contain the narrative. But here's where the story takes a chilling turn. Because according to people who claim to have seen the situation unfold from the inside, Teyana Taylor's problems didn't start this year. They started years ago. And if what Katt Williams is saying is true, the industry didn't just try to silence her. They've been trying to erase her. And the reason why is far more explosive than anyone imagined. The moment Katt Williams said her name, the atmosphere in the room changed. Not the playful tension of a comedian stirring drama. Not the usual celebrity gossip ripple. This was different. This was the kind of silence that falls when someone accidentally says the truth out loud. The clip that ignited the chaos came from a private stand-up set that was never supposed to leak. Phones were supposedly locked away. Security was tight. But someone recorded it anyway, and when that footage hit the internet, it detonated like a grenade inside the entertainment world. Katt stood under the spotlight, pacing slowly, smiling the way he does right before he says something dangerous. Then he leaned into the mic and dropped the line that made the crowd gasp. They ain't blacklisting Teyana Taylor because she's difficult, they blacklisting her because she remembers everything. The room went quiet. Not laughing quiet. Terrified quiet. Katt continued, his voice lowering like he was sharing a secret the industry thought was buried. You ever notice how certain people stop getting calls? Not because they lost talent, but because they stopped playing dumb. The audience didn't know whether to laugh or brace themselves. But online, the reaction was instant nuclear fallout. Within minutes, the clip began spreading across Twitter like wildfire in gasoline. Hashtags exploded. Hashtag Protect Teyana started trending. Then came another one. Hashtag Hollywood Blacklist. And suddenly fans weren't just watching a comedy clip. They were conducting an investigation. People started pulling up timelines. They noticed something eerie. For someone with Teyana Taylor's resume, singer, dancer, actress, director, choreographer, fashion icon, her presence in major Hollywood conversations had started fading strangely over the past 2 years. Projects announced, then quietly cancelled. Collaborations rumored, then mysteriously disappearing. Industry invitations she used to get, suddenly vanishing. At first people assumed it was normal career fluctuation. But Katt's words reframed everything. Now the internet was asking a different question. Was someone quietly shutting doors behind the scenes? Then another bomb dropped. A blogger known for celebrity leaks posted a thread that sent shockwaves through fan communities. The account claimed a major streaming platform had unofficially flagged Teyana as a high-risk collaborator. No official statement. No public accusation. Just internal hesitation. According to the alleged leak, the note attached to her profile read, "Proceed with caution on future projects." Those 5 words lit social media on fire. Because in Hollywood language, that phrase carries weight. It means someone powerful is whispering in the background. And once those whispers begin, careers can collapse overnight. But then came the twist nobody expected. Someone dug up an old interview clip from 3 years ago. Teyana sitting calmly during a radio appearance. The host jokingly asked her about industry politics. Her smile faded for a split second. Then she said something that at the time sounded harmless. Now it sounded terrifying. "There's a lot of stuff I've seen that people would never believe." The host laughed it off. But Teyana didn't laugh. She just stared ahead and added quietly, "One day people gonna understand why certain doors close." The clip resurfaced and instantly went viral. Millions of views within hours. And suddenly Katt Williams' words didn't feel like comedy anymore. They felt like confirmation. Then came the leak that escalated everything. Late that night, a TikTok account posted an audio recording claiming to be from a private industry meeting. The voice on the recording sounded like a male executive speaking to several others on a conference call. No names were confirmed. But the message was chilling. A calm voice said, "We can't have her directing anything that exposes internal structures." Another voice asked nervously, "What if she already has footage?" The first voice responded without hesitation, "Then we delay everything." The audio clip ended there. No explanation. No context. Just enough to send the internet into absolute hysteria. Within minutes, the recording had millions of plays. Some people called it fake. Others pointed out that the voices sounded eerily similar to executives known inside major studios. YouTube channels began dissecting the audio like it was the Zapruder film. And right in the middle of the chaos, Katt Williams added fuel to the inferno. Because during another live show the following night, he doubled down hard. He stepped on stage, looked straight into the camera of someone recording, and said, "Hollywood got two systems. One for stars, and one for witnesses." The crowd murmured nervously. Then he delivered the line that sent chills through the room. Teyana Taylor been both. The internet erupted again. Fans started connecting dots nobody had considered before. Teyana's time with Kanye West's Good Music label. Her access to elite industry rooms. Her involvement in choreography, fashion, music videos, and film production. She wasn't just an artist. She had been everywhere. Watching everything. And if she had spent years observing how the system really works. Then suddenly Katt's warning sounded less like gossip. And more like a threat to the entire industry. But just when the story seemed like pure internet speculation, a celebrity reaction poured gasoline on the fire. A famous actor, whose name fans quickly identified even though it was deleted seconds later, posted a cryptic tweet. It read, "People laughing now, but Katt ain't lying about certain things." The tweet was deleted within 5 minutes. But screenshots live forever. And once those screenshots started circulating, Hollywood insiders reportedly went into full panic mode. Because now it wasn't just fans talking. Celebrities were reacting too. And behind the scenes, something even more dramatic was unfolding. According to an entertainment journalist with close studio connections, a major upcoming project involving Teyana Taylor had just been quietly paused. No announcement. No explanation. Just a sudden halt. Crew members were told production was being re-evaluated. But the timing was impossible to ignore. Because the shutdown happened less than 24 hours after Katt Williams' comments exploded online. Coincidence? Maybe. But the internet didn't believe that for 1 second. And then, just when everyone thought the story couldn't get crazier, another video surfaced. This one featuring Teyana herself. Filmed months earlier. In the clip she's speaking to a group of young creatives during a private workshop. She looks passionate. Determined. Almost like someone carrying a secret. Then she says something that now feels like a warning to the entire industry. "They can take opportunities away," she says calmly. "But they can't erase what I already know." The room in the video laughs. But now, nobody on the internet is laughing. Because if Katt Williams is telling the truth, and if those leaked recordings are real, then the entertainment industry isn't just dealing with a scandal. They might be dealing with a witness. And according to multiple insiders whispering behind closed doors, there's one specific project Hollywood is absolutely terrified of her finishing. A film. A film that allegedly contains scenes inspired by real industry experiences. A film that's been mysteriously delayed for months. A film that, if it ever releases, could expose far more than anyone is prepared for. But here's the part that makes the entire situation explode into something even darker. Because sources now claim someone already tried to stop that film from ever seeing the light of day. And what allegedly happened behind the scenes is far more shocking than anything Katt Williams has said so far. Hollywood didn't panic because of a joke. They panicked because of a timeline. Within hours of Katt Williams' comments going viral, internet detectives started stitching together a pattern that looked less like coincidence and more like a coordinated shutdown. The center of that pattern was a film project Teyana Taylor had been developing quietly for months. A project insiders had whispered about long before the public ever heard its name. The film was supposed to be her directorial breakthrough, a gritty story about power, manipulation, and the entertainment machine chewing up young talent. On paper, it was just another independent drama. But according to several people who claimed to have seen early footage, it wasn't fiction. It was a mirror. One production assistant, who later deleted their account, posted a chilling message on a private film forum. "I worked on 2 scenes before production paused. If this movie comes out, people are going to recognize themselves." The post vanished less than 20 minutes later. But screenshots were already spreading. Fans zoomed in on the words like investigators analyzing evidence. Recognize themselves. What exactly did that mean? Were real people being portrayed? Real industry events? Or something even more dangerous, real contracts? Because suddenly old rumors resurfaced about Teyana documenting her experiences inside the music and film industries for years. Not just journaling, filming, recording, archiving. People who had worked with her began speaking anonymously to bloggers. One choreographer said she was always paying attention to the business side. Another claimed she kept detailed notes about meetings most artists barely remembered. But one former crew member dropped the statement that turned speculation into full-blown alarm. She never trusted the rooms she was in, the source said. She trusted the camera. That single sentence sent the internet into investigative overdrive. Fans began digging into behind-the-scenes photos from previous projects. One viral thread showed Teyana frequently holding a small handheld camera during rehearsals and production breaks. At the time, fans assumed she was just capturing creative moments. Now people were asking a far more explosive question. What else did those cameras capture? Because if Katt Williams was telling the truth, and if Teyana really had years of documented observations, then Hollywood might not just be dealing with a frustrated artist. They might be dealing with evidence. And that's when the alleged second leak appeared. This time it came from an anonymous email sent to a celebrity gossip blog. The message claimed to contain a transcript from a private agency meeting involving several powerful entertainment executives. The authenticity couldn't be verified. But the content was terrifying. One line in particular started circulating everywhere. "We should have handled this back when she asked to leave the label." Fans immediately connected the quote to Teyana's infamous public complaints about her record label years earlier. She had openly stated she asked to be released from her contract more than 10 times. At the time, many assumed it was just typical label drama. But now Katt Williams' narrative made the situation look completely different. Because if the industry had been trying to keep her close, maybe it wasn't about music at all. Maybe it was about control. The transcript leak continued with another chilling statement. "Letting her direct was a mistake." Those 5 words detonated across the internet like a nuclear blast. Because suddenly everything made sense to the online investigators watching this story unfold in real time. Directors have power, performers don't. A singer delivers someone else's vision. A director controls the narrative. Controls the editing. Controls what gets preserved forever on film. And if Teyana Taylor had spent 15 years watching the inside mechanics of the industry, then giving her a camera might have been the one mistake the system couldn't undo. As the theory spread, celebrity reactions started pouring in. Some subtle, some suspicious. One famous rapper posted a cryptic Instagram story showing a chessboard with the caption, "Sometimes the queen sees the whole board." The post disappeared within an hour. But screenshots flooded social media. Fans interpreted it as a clear message of support. Others believed it was a warning. Then came the moment that escalated everything from speculation into pure chaos. Katt Williams went live. No stage. No audience. Just a dimly lit room and his phone camera. Within seconds, the live stream exploded to hundreds of thousands of viewers. He looked calm. Too calm. The kind of calm someone has when they know they are about to set off another explosion. And then he started talking. "You know what the funny thing about Hollywood is," he said slowly. "They don't mind talent." He leaned closer to the camera. "They mind memory." The comment section went insane. People begged him to explain. And Katt did exactly what he does best. He said just enough to make the situation worse. "They got comfortable thinking artists only pay attention to their own careers," he continued. "But sometimes the quiet ones, they watching everybody else." Then he dropped the line that sent shockwaves through the live stream. "I been in rooms where people said her name with fear." The comments flooded so fast they became unreadable. But Katt wasn't finished. He paused, looked directly into the camera, and delivered a sentence that instantly became the most replayed moment of the entire broadcast. "They ain't blacklisting her because of what she did." He smiled slightly. "They blacklisting her because of what she filmed." The live stream ended seconds later. No explanation. No follow-up. Just a black screen. And the internet exploded. Within minutes the clip was everywhere. TikTok edits. Twitter debates. YouTube breakdowns. Some fans called Katt a genius whistleblower. Others accused him of spreading conspiracy theories. But then a Hollywood reporter posted something that changed the temperature of the entire situation. A production insurance document connected to Teyana's film had reportedly been modified. The new clause: additional review of editorial content required before distribution. Industry professionals immediately recognized what that meant. Studios were demanding final approval. Final cut control. The one thing directors fight hardest to keep. And the one thing insiders say Teyana had originally negotiated to protect. If that clause had been added after production began, it meant the studio was trying to regain control of the story. Control of the footage. Control of the narrative. Which only raised a darker possibility. Maybe the industry wasn't just trying to stop her career. Maybe they were trying to stop a film from ever being completed. But just when fans thought the situation couldn't get any more explosive, a final leak surfaced that night. A short video clip. Blurry. Grainy. Recorded inside what appeared to be a studio meeting room. 3 voices could be heard arguing. One voice said something that sent chills down the spine of everyone who watched it. "If that footage gets out, it's over for a lot of people." Another voice asked quietly, "So what's the plan?" The response came instantly. "Delay everything." The video cut out. No faces visible. No names spoken. But the timing. The timing was terrifying. Because just hours after that clip started trending, a major entertainment trade publication quietly reported that Teyana Taylor's film had been indefinitely postponed. No explanation. No new release date. Just silence. And when fans tried to find Teyana's response, they discovered something even stranger. Her social media accounts had suddenly gone quiet. No posts. No statements. No clarification. Nothing. But according to someone who claims to have been inside a recent private screening of early footage, there's one scene in the film that executives are absolutely terrified of the public seeing. Because that scene allegedly recreates something that happened in a real industry meeting. A meeting involving several powerful names. Names that, if audiences connect the dots, could send shockwaves through Hollywood itself. And insiders say when those executives realized that scene was in the film, that's when the panic truly began. Because if that footage ever reaches the public, the blacklist might be the least dramatic thing that happens next. By the time the third wave of leaks hit the internet, the story had already mutated from celebrity gossip into something that felt dangerously close to an industry crisis. Because now the question wasn't just whether Teyana Taylor was being blacklisted. The question was whether Hollywood had accidentally created its own whistleblower. And if that whistleblower had already locked the truth inside a film. The silence from Teyana's camp only made the tension worse. Days passed. No posts. No interviews. No denial. Nothing. Meanwhile, the internet refused to calm down. Every hour new threads appeared analyzing tiny details from her past projects. Old rehearsal footage. Behind-the-scenes clips. Interviews that once seemed harmless now felt loaded with hidden meaning. One video in particular started circulating like wildfire. It was from a panel discussion Teyana attended almost 4 years earlier. A fan in the audience asked a simple question. What's the hardest thing about working in the industry? The room expected a polite answer. But Teyana paused for a moment before speaking. Then she said something that suddenly sounded prophetic. The hardest thing isn't talent. She looked straight into the audience. It's pretending you don't see what's happening around you. At the time, the comment barely made headlines. Now it felt like a coded confession. And then the real explosion happened. A former editor, who claimed to have worked on early cuts of Teyana's film, contacted a popular entertainment YouTube channel. The editor refused to reveal their name. But they agreed to describe one specific sequence in the movie. A sequence they claimed caused a full meltdown among studio executives during a private review. According to the editor, the scene depicts a fictional music executive meeting with a young artist in a luxury office. The executive explains how contracts are designed to control every aspect of a performer's life. Public image, personal relationships, even social media behavior. The artist in the scene slowly realizes that success comes with invisible chains. Chains nobody warns you about. But the moment that allegedly terrified executives comes at the end of the scene. Because the young artist pulls out a phone and reveals they've been secretly recording the entire conversation. The executive freezes. And the character calmly says a line that insiders claim made the room go silent during the screening. You forgot something. The executive asks what? The artist replies. Witnesses exist. When the editor described the reaction inside the screening room, the internet went ballistic. They didn't argue about the acting, the editor said. They argued about who the characters were supposed to represent. That single statement triggered a frenzy. Fans began speculating about which real-life executives might recognize themselves in the film. Bloggers posted long breakdowns comparing the fictional dialogue to rumored industry practices. TikTok creators recreated the alleged scene using actors. Within hours, the hashtag release the film started trending. But behind the scenes, things were getting uglier. Because according to a talent agent who spoke anonymously to a podcast host, phone calls were being made across multiple studios. Not about Teyana's talent. About her access. The agent claimed several executives were asking the same question. How much footage does she actually have? And that's when another unexpected voice entered the chaos. A well-known music producer, someone who had worked in the same creative circles as Teyana years earlier, posted a cryptic message late at night. It was just one sentence. People laughed when she carried that camera everywhere. Then the producer added another line. They ain't laughing now. The post was deleted within minutes. But by then screenshots were already everywhere. The internet exploded again. Fans began hunting for older photos of Teyana on sets, in studios, backstage at events. And sure enough, in dozens of those photos she was holding some kind of camera. Sometimes filming rehearsals. Sometimes capturing candid moments with collaborators. Sometimes simply recording conversations in the background. Most artists document their journey. But now people wondered if she had been documenting something else entirely. Something far more dangerous. Then Katt Williams appeared again. This time during a radio interview. The host tried to keep things light. But Katt immediately steered the conversation back into explosive territory. "They think the blacklist scares people," he said calmly. "But you can't scare someone who already saw how the game works." The host asked directly whether he believed Hollywood was trying to silence Teyana. Katt didn't hesitate. "They're not trying to silence her," he said. "They're trying to slow her down." Then he delivered the line that instantly became the most quoted moment of the entire controversy. "Because if that film drops, it ain't just a movie anymore." The host asked what he meant. Katt leaned closer to the microphone. "It becomes evidence." The room went dead quiet. Within minutes the clip flooded every corner of the internet. Fans debated whether Katt was exaggerating or revealing something terrifyingly real. But then a final development pushed the story into pure suspense. A small independent theater in Los Angeles posted a mysterious message online. The theater announced it had been contacted about hosting a private creative screening connected to Teyana Taylor. No details. No confirmation. Just a vague statement. But the timing ignited a wildfire of speculation. Was the film actually finished? Had Teyana found a way to release it outside the studio system? Or was someone preparing to leak the footage the industry allegedly wanted buried? Insiders started whispering about emergency legal meetings happening across several major entertainment companies. Lawyers. Contracts. Distribution rights. Damage control. Because if the film reaches the public, there may be no way to stop the conversation that follows. And while Hollywood executives scramble behind closed doors, the internet is already preparing for the moment the truth finally hits the screen. But there's one final twist that has everyone watching this story holding their breath. Because according to a source close to Teyana's creative team, she hasn't said a word publicly for a reason. Not because she's hiding. Not because she's scared. But because she's waiting. Waiting for the exact moment when speaking will have the biggest impact. And if that moment arrives, if the footage Katt Williams keeps hinting at actually surfaces, the blacklist rumor might be the smallest scandal in the entire story. Because Hollywood has survived gossip. It has survived celebrity feuds. It has even survived whistleblowers before. But what it has never survived is proof. And if Teyana Taylor really has what insiders are whispering about, then the entertainment industry might be standing on the edge of the biggest exposure it has ever faced. But here's the thing. This story is still unfolding in real time. New leaks are appearing every day. More celebrities are starting to react. And somewhere behind the scenes, a film that powerful people allegedly tried to bury might still be waiting for its moment to be seen. Which means the next twist in this story could arrive at any second. And when it does, the entire industry might never look the same again. If you've made it this far, you already know this situation is far from over. Every new clip, every insider leak, every cryptic celebrity reaction is adding fuel to a fire that Hollywood can't seem to put out. And the craziest part? We may only be seeing the surface of what's really going on behind the scenes. So if you want to stay ahead of the next bombshell, make sure you hit like right now, because every like pushes this story further into the spotlight, where it can't be ignored. Drop your thoughts in the comments too, because the internet is divided. Some people believe Katt Williams just exposed the biggest industry secret in years, while others think something even bigger is about to come out. And trust me, the conversations happening in the comments are getting just as intense as the story itself. If you don't want to miss the next twist, the next leak, or the next moment that sends the internet into complete meltdown, you need to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the moment new information drops about Teyana Taylor, Katt Williams, or that mysterious film everyone is suddenly terrified of, you'll hear about it here first. Stay locked in, stay curious, and remember, in Hollywood the truth always sounds unbelievable, until it finally gets exposed.